Welcome to Top Notch Raid Shadow Legends.
Behold! Your reign of terror ends here!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Top Notch here, Raid Shadow Legends. So I wanted to go over a little tip video on how to use Hell Hades Optimizer. And today it's also going to be part of a highlight video on Keberon the Underflame. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this guy is a beast. So I don't know if everybody is well knowledge in Hell Hades Optimizer. I know some people probably struggle with it. It can be a little complicated. But today what I want to do is I want to try to find the right perfect gear set. Well, I already know the gear set. I'm going to put Merciless, 9-piece Merciless on him. But I have so much gear, so many pieces, and I'm struggling with manually finding the right parts to put on him in order to get the balance and stats that I want. Or I'm just being lazy, who knows. But anyway, just about all my champions have mixed gear sets, so my gear is everywhere. So with that being said, yeah, I don't have a lot of Merciless, but if I could find a tool to do it for me, why not, Ed? So back to what I was saying. You want to go, we're going to start with the basics. Say you want to gear a specific champion, right? You want to go over here to this third option down, and it's going to bring you to your champions page. Get here, you can filter out, select different tabs in order to determine, which champion you want to use. We know exactly what champion I'm going for, so we're going for Keberon. But here you can filter them out by the rank, you can filter them out by rarity, affinity, role, ascended, awakened, faction, geared, booked, set, locked, and that's locked within this program, not within the game, but within the program. Skills, targets, masteries, and so on. So we're going to be targeting Keberon the Underflame. So you want to go down to the bottom here and click Optimize. Now you want to select damage mode. He is an attack champion. When selecting damage mode, Hell Hades is going to automatically select 100% crit rate within the stat slot for him, and then automatically, push forth as much attack and crit damage as possible while trying to give you a balanced set of stats. Now, after you select damage mode, you want to select their best skill. And give me a second here to probably find out what the best skill is for him. I believe this is A2. Usually with these champions, the best skill is the A2. Sometimes A3, but usually the A2. At least the strongest. Yeah, his A2 searing brand is his strongest skill. So we're gonna go ahead and select that in. I'm gonna go ahead and use remote optimizer to save me some time. And these are my current stats for him right now. But I want to raise them. So the next spot you want to go to is config. And here in config, they automatically have things selected for you based off of your masteries. They have what masteries you have selected for the champion. Um, right here, it's going to say include artifacts from required artifact sets regardless of lock status. And then it's going to say include artifacts on locked champions. So that lock factor still applies to the locked champions within the Hell Hades optimizer, not within your game. So if you have a roster and you have your champions locked within your roster and you go to gear another champion, toggling this on or off would let your champion pull gear from those locked champions or not. All right, we don't need that. So we're gonna go here to the stat screen. Stat screens, like I said, remember, they give you an automatic 100 for the crit rate. They're gonna max out the crit damage as much as possible along with his attack because that's what his damage is based off of. So, like I said, these aren't really the stats that I actually had. Let me actually refresh that so I could base that properly. So, I'm gonna go here, put that on, equipped, and this is gonna automatically transfer all the information over. Refresh once you do something like that. Anytime you do an action in the game, you wanna refresh it so everything can update properly, so you can see what you're working with. All right, so we see that my crit rate is 100 now. Crit damage is 244. Defense, attack is 5271. So I'm gonna take a mental note of that, and I want to try to achieve, especially with accuracy. Accuracy is important for him too, for his HP burn to land. So we want to aim for, actually, like I said, I want to try Merciless, try to get as much of Merciless on him. So you want to go down to sets. Once you go down to sets, you want to try to find the set that you want for the champion. So I'm gonna select none. That means I'm choosing not to have any sets on him, which that makes no sense. But then you're gonna go over here and select what sets you want to use. If you want to use multiple sets or mixed sets or whatever, or what specific sets you want to use in combination, you can. I'm going with Merciless, and I'm gonna try to get the most damage out of him by using Merciless. Go back up to here and click on include artifacts on locked champions, because I do have a bunch of champions in here locked. So that's the most of it. I can't really push the stats yet. All I can do is just run this first run, see what I get, being that really my struggle was trying to get my crit rate to 100. And I don't know if it was really a struggle or me trying to force crit damage gloves. But with that being said, we'll let Hell Hades Optimizer do the job for us and see what we get. And like I said, we selected, I believe, a remote optimizer, so this should be fairly quick. And we have results. So if you look at our current stats, you could do an evaluation. We lost a little bit of HP. We lost a little bit of attack, not too bad. Defense, not too bad. Speed. Lost a bit of speed. Crit rate is at 100. Crit damage, not too bad. And is that for a full? That is for a full Merciless set. Now I'm pretty hype about that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm screaming like a girl inside right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. So after you get that done, you click equipped in game. You click equip, and I'm doing this all for a purpose actually because I want to further myself a little bit more in arena. And this guy he's a beast. I use him alongside Pelops the Victor, who we just took the ring from, with Arbiter. I have Arbiter in 9-piece Mercurial, and then also Glorious Palace 9-piece Mercurial. Really love to get her fully red 6-starred out Awakened. But anyway, let's throw a ring back on to our man Pelops here. And we're gonna go with something that's gonna be HP based. With the highest HP for him. Oregon Tribe. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be this one. Alright, we're in. Alright, cool. So let's see what relics. I'm pretty sure he's there. Let's go ahead and get a relic on him. Arbiter has her relic. Where's Palace? I really would like to change his relic crit damage. So there's a relic in here. There's a legendary relic I have. It's good for crit damage. I believe I had it on him before, and he did awesome with it. Yeah, right here. Thunderbolt Spear. So I'll be taking that off. We're gonna go ahead and take it off of this guy. But what are we sacrificing at the bottom here? So you got to be aware of this when you're doing this because these gems are also important. I'm trying to, me personally, stack up ignore defense on him because he's great with ignore defense. So 2 circles in the triangle, 2 triangles in a circle. So before I move this, I'm gonna go in here and see what's the difference that they could offer me that I'll benefit better off of. So socketed. So we're trading 2 circles. So let's evaluate our triangles first. What ignore defense do we have? Type of deal. Make sure more things deal. That's where crit damage increase by 3%. See, that's good, but that's iffy. That's if they could put a debuff on you. And using Glorious Palace, where she blocks debuffs, you know, with the team that's going to be pretty powerful, it's a chance that, you know, they're not going to be able to do that. So let's see what circles I have. If I need to switch any of those out. Okay, we're going to stick with this one. But we are going to add a relic on our man right here. And I'm going to go with Golden Elixir. Really love the Golden Elixir. I don't hear much people speaking on it, but I like it a lot. Please. We're gonna socket turn meter. We'll leave that blank for now. Equip that. Oop, nope, not unequipping. We're gonna upgrade it. Golden elixir can be very annoying to deal with if you use it right. As far as it's gonna go for now. Definitely need some more. All right, so we have our team set. Everybody's geared. Let's double check actually. Not sure how I feel about the current champion fusions and stuff. I guess after you get faction wars done, it's a little bit of that dry spell because you really can, unless you have a whole bunch of champions somehow after faction wars that could definitely take on faction war hards immediately after. You're gonna have that dry spell where you're kind of sitting steady in game, outside of arena and everything. So I'm trying to apply the same strategy that I applied before with faction wars towards faction wars normal. But as we all know, faction wars definitely faction war hard definitely gives you a little bit of trouble with all the requirements they ask for.
To understand why Keberon is securing spots in competitive live arena drafts, we have to look at how his skills synergize. First is A1, Fiery Rend. He attacks a single enemy twice, with a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased def debuff for 2 turns. But here's the kicker. He has a 50% chance of automatically attacking with this skill whenever an enemy has an HP burn debuff activated on them. This occurs once per turn, providing passive out-of-turn damage and defense breaking. Next is A2, Searing Brand. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, and it is your sniper tool. Attacks one enemy twice. Before attacking, he places a unique Death Brand debuff on the target for 2 turns. Here's why it's insane for PvP. It ignores unkillable and shield buffs, along with 25% of the target's defense. If he kills the target, he instantly activates his A3, Pyrenees power. If the target somehow survives, he fills his own turn meter by 50% instead. It is the ultimate anti-unkillable execution tool. Then we have his A3, Pyrenees power, also on a 3-turn cooldown. This is his big AoE ability. He attacks all enemies, but before attacking, he places a 50% increase ACC buff on all allies for 2 turns, ensuring your team doesn't get resisted. It has a 75% chance of placing an HP burn debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. It fills his turn meter by 20% for each burn placed, and fills it by 10% for each burn resisted. He literally cycles his own turns just by using it. Finally, his passive, Underflames Protection. This is on a 4-turn cooldown, and it is his safety net. It activates a delay effect on Keberon whenever he takes a fatal hit, keeping him alive. Even better, it heals him by 20% of his max HP whenever an HP burn is activated on an enemy. And for ultimate arena disruption, whenever an HP burn on an enemy expires or is removed, it automatically places a true fear debuff on that enemy for 1 turn. Try cleansing that, enemy team. Now let's talk about where he excels, live arena and classic arena. Keberon brings a massive 28% attack aura for all battles, making him an excellent lead choice if you aren't running a speed lead macro pack. But let's look at his specialized blessing, Incinerate. At just 2 stars, it increases the damage inflicted by HP burn debuffs placed by this champion in Arena and Siege. More importantly, its high awakening bonus states that whenever an HP burn
Right.
placed by him inflicts damage, the enemy's turn meter is decreased by that same amount. In live arena, players love to run high durability teams with stone skin, massive shields, and cleanup revivers. Keberon completely counters this strategy. You use his A3 to coat the entire opposing team in HP burn. As those burns tick, his passive continuously heals him, while his Incinerate blessing actively drains the enemy's turn meters. If the enemy tries to use a cleanser like Alva or Mithrala to get rid of the burns, boom, his passive instantly triggers, slapping those cleansed targets with a true fear debuff, causing them to lose their skills or skip their turns entirely. And if you run into pesky champions relying on swift parry or unkillable masteries like Leo or Georgid, you drop his A2, Searing Brand. Because it completely ignores shields and unkillable, you bypass their safety nets, secure the kill, and immediately trigger a free casting of his AoE Pyrenees power to melt the rest of their team. It's a flawless competitive loop. To make a champion like Keberon truly terrifying, you need an endgame build that balances raw offensive power with the precision accuracy required to land his debuffs. Let's look at this build right here, utilizing a full 9-piece Merciless set. Merciless is widely known as one of the best endgame sets in the entire game because it grants everything a high-end nuker wants: extra attack, extra critical damage, cooldown reduction chances, and built-in ignore defense. Look at this epic Merciless weapon. It's fully maxed at plus 16, giving a base 265 attack, but look at those substats. A double roll into attack getting it to 18%, a chunk of resistance, and crucial critical rate. When we look over at his total stats, this is exactly how you want to build him for high-tier play. His critical rate is locked down at plus 102%, giving him a total 117% critical rate. This ensures every single hit from his multi-hit kit is a critical strike. His critical damage sits at a massive 200% total, pushing his scaling on his Fiery Rend and Searing Brand through the roof. His attack gets a clean plus 3,404 boost, pushing his total attack over the 4,800 mark. But look at the most vital stat for his utility: accuracy. He has a massive plus 251 accuracy bonus, bringing his total to 261. Because Keberon relies on placing his HP burns and his Deathbrand debuff to control the battlefield and trigger his turn meter manipulation, you cannot afford to skimp on accuracy. This build hits the perfect sweet spot for competitive arena, allowing him to bypass standard enemy resistance while hitting like an absolute freight train. While he is built to dominate the arena player versus player content, his utility extends out everywhere else in the game where HP burn and block revive mechanics excel. If you are struggling against the Frost Spider in Doom Tower, Keberon is a premier counter. His high accuracy and constant AoE HP burn applications completely prevent the Frost Spider from reviving itself, speeding up your farm times significantly. He also works wonders against Ice Golem waves and the Ice Golem boss itself by dealing heavy damage while preventing minion resurrections via his raw offensive power. Here are my summary tips for building your own Keberon. Number 1. Prioritize getting your critical rate to 100% and pushing your critical damage as close to or above 200% as possible. Number 2. Do not forget accuracy. If you don't land his HP burn, you lose out on his passive heals, his turn meter reduction, and his true fear crowd control scaling. Aim for at least 250 plus accuracy for mid to high tier content. Number 3. If you have access to mythical or endgame forge sets like Merciless or Lethal, use them. The built-in ignore def scaling stacks beautifully with his A2 Searing Brand, allowing you to essentially one-shot enemy tanks right through their protections. What do you think of Keberon the Underflame? Are you running him in your live arena team, or using him to torch PvE bosses? Let me know your builds and team compositions down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if this guide helped you out.
No. I based that off even though I got Lydia, which I don't think people base that off of in-game, my Great Hall is not done, you know. I definitely won't even try to consider myself in-game until my Great Hall is maxed out. But I do try to carry my gear as if I'm in-game. And I think it just gives me a boost. I try my best not to put 5-star gear on my champions. But if I do put a 5-star gear on my champion, it's mythical. It's gonna have to be mythical or legendary. And even legendary, I hate putting legendary 5-star on my champions. So if you can see here, I have 1,400, well, total. I have 1,681 pieces of gear. Just another tip for you guys that get mid-game, you get yourself stuck, but you got a bunch of gear, you especially running out on space. If you see here, click 6-star. 1,551 of that gear is 6-star. So one day I had just decided to delete all my 5-star gear that are not 9 pieces. And even if it's a 9-piece, it's got to be mythical or legendary. And then even that, you know, I'm not really looking into stat rolls just yet. I got so much gear and constantly getting silver. I just, you know, prioritize speed or whatever stats and upgrade my gear within my library like that and go by then and delete whatever. Eventually I'll focus more on the rolls. While using Hell Hades Optimizer, it helps you relieve the pressure off of you for trying to really, you know exactly what pieces have stats. You plug everything in, you tell Hell Hades what you want, and it'll deliver it for you to the best of its possibility. There's other key factors that you can use to better your, you know, widen your search in Hell Hades in order to find gear in the proper sets. But we'll go over that in more extensive videos. But that's it for today, guys. Thanks for coming by. Definitely appreciate the company. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. And until next time, top notch. Raid Shadow Legends out.
Like, share, and subscribe.